Hello, hello, good afternoon, my people. As you always say, once you see me, you always know something's up. Once you see me, you know you expect much from me. So today I'm here just to discuss something we call civil work. So before we go to civil work, I just want to show you the previous outlook of the market of Ramasha. This is how it looks. You see, if you see the picture, this is how the market looks before civil work. And so, before we give the contract to the civil work, the people who are going to do the civil work, I try to imagine or to design my own mind how I want the market to look after the civil work project has been done. So, this is the picture of what I think it's supposed to look after the civil work. I don't know. That's my view. I don't know what you will have as your view, but this is how I want it to look after the project is done. So before we go further, let me just go back and explain something. So a market is a place where many people gather daily. So if you do a poor planning, it will lead to problems such as flooding, there will be accident, poor sanitation, we have all environmental damages below. Like this is the place that we expect a lot of people to be gathering. So we must have something that's more durable, something that's sustainable, something that's risk-free, and something that will enable the projects that is expected to be carried out to be smoothly carried out. So when carrying out a civil work project, such as in a market like Ramasha market, the main goal is to make sure the environment is safe. Number one, it should be safe, it should be functional, and it's sustainable for traders, customers, and the surrounding communities. So let me just break it through so that you will understand my expectation. So below is a detailed explanation of which you can use to even record along, like the explanation that I expect to for any civil work to engage or to consider before starting to design for the expected outlook or the expected things to you and on. So before you embark on a journey for civil work, we need to understand that you need to consider what we call terrains and landscapes. Like in this market of Ramasha, if you look at the pictures and the videos that I have taken on the site, the area is not uniform. That's the first problem you can notice. The area is not uniform. Like we have slopey, and at the end of the slope, we have residential areas. We see market shops for the area community members. So before considering anything, you need to consider and understand the terrains and the slopes in the area, so that if you construct, the first thing the engineer's planning must consider is natural the natural terrains of the area. Many markets are built on lands that is not perfectly flat. If the land slopes or has uneven ground, water can easily accumulate in the same places. So the terrains of the area will affect you the project of. So in this case, you need to consider that as the most. So for example, in Ramasha market, if the surrounding land is uneven, civil work should include terracing, grinding, and leveling. So the main reason why we are working on terracing is to ensure there is uniformity in the drainage system. So the water system should be constructed in such a way that it will not lead to flooding. It will not affect the other side of the living environment of the people. So the water will be directed to the areas where it's safe and where it will go. So we have what we call leveling. Yeah. And also during leveling, you should not fight with the ground. You embrace how the environment is built and construct something that is going to be durable. If you fight with the ground, probably it will have problems later. Why is it important to consider the terrains? So number one, it would prevent flooding around the market, stop soil erosion, protect building from water damage. So the second thing that you are going to consider while constructing this, while doing the civil work, is proper drainage system. Yeah, you see, this market are built in a standard way. We have embrace drainage system very well. You see from the further end, you can just see the pictures of the pipes from the roofing and the water. So what we are just going to do later is to ensure that the drainage system is controlled. We have a controlled drainage system that will enable the water to move freely without any obstruction. So the drainage system should be under consideration to ensure that everything is under control. Yeah. So the drainage system open all covered drainage channels, currents drop to allow water flow, drain outlet that treat water away from the market area. So if the rain is of heavy during the seasons that this is kissy, the rain season might go for so heavy, so the water will be there will be a lot of water. So if the drainage system is not well controlled, expect an outburst. So which means it will lead to soil erosion, the accumulation of water, the flooding, and blah blah. So it usually impress drainage system that is working actively and so controllable. So another thing to consider is surface finishing and ground stabilization. The ground around the market must be stable and well finished. If the soil is loose or poorly compacted, it may become dust during dry season and muddy during rain season. So that is where now we use what we call capros. Capros are going to stabilize the soil around the market so that it will have a strong ground where people will just move. If you can't ensure that, you expect muddy and so and dust during dry season. So you should embrace finishing and making as ground stabilizing. So the other thing is water management and waste management and sanitation. So this is the market. We expect a lot of people. There would be a lot of dirt. There would be a lot of waste that will be disposed annually. So you see, we have already constructed a waste a waste a waste pit there. If you can see through the video, it's already there. So the waste management system should be controlled. You should employ people on how you should employ and train people on how they are going to control this waste disposal method. They should ensure the market is so clean and how it's going to be controlled. So water pits, waste pits, waste correction zones, drainage that does not mix with waste. So these are the things that you need to embrace while doing civil work in the area. So in Ramasha, like waste management is important because we need to make sure the people doing the business in these markets are safe. They are risk free. There's no transmission of diseases. There's no contamination of the foods that are being sold in the market, and many more things that are related with sanitation. Because hygiene is a key while doing our businesses. Also, accessibility and the movement. So the running zone the running zone from the gates should be feasible, should be manageable, something that it's so spacious that will not lead to obstruction during the movement through the town. Also, pedestrian walkways, delivery zones, entry and exit routes, parking areas. So these are the other things that you need to consider while doing civil work around the area. So we expect to consider that, and this will help to prevent congestion, improve safety, support smooth business operation in the area. So it's something to consider also. Safety measures. Safety should always be a priority. Civil work should consider non-slippery services. So the services should be non-slippery. So that's why in this market, inside we use terrazos because they are durable and they are not much slippery. Also, we have strong tailor walls where retaining walls where needed, proper lighting areas, clearly defined walking paths. So these are other things that you should also consider. So the other thing that is under consideration during civil work is what we call environmental protection. Civil work should also protect the environment. Construction should avoid destroying natural water paths or vegetable vegetation and necessary. So this civil work should not interfere with the natural environment in the area. So this is planting grass to prevent soil erosion, creating green areas, controlling dust during construction. And on the other of the importance is just to maintain ecological balance, reduce environmental damage, and improve the market appearance. So these are other things that you should consider while doing the civil work in the area. So we have what we call community involvement. Yeah. After doing the project in the market, we have what we call community involvement or community ownership. If you don't engage the community and train them and then make them understand the importance of building these markets, you would expect resistance from them. Also, there would be no reason for construction if you don't embrace the community routines and mobilizing them so that they would be using these markets for their benefits. So it's something of a consideration. So you should ensure we have community involvement in the projects. It's not just controlling or constructing the market in the area. So community awareness help protect infrastructure from misuse. That's by training them on how you should be using the infrastructure, encouraging cleanliness, and also we have what we call promote responsible use of facilities. So this is what should be considered. So in conclusion, I would like to say when doing civil work around the market like Ramasha, the main goal is not just construction, but creating a safe, clean, and functional environment for everyone. Proper planning in terrains, referring drainage, ground finishing, sanitation, accessibility, safety, and environment protection ensure that the market remain useful for many years without causing problems to the service community. A well-designed market environment improves business growth, public health, community development, long-term sustainability. So thank you for watching my video, and we expect that despite this my expected outlook of the market after it's complete, but the people who have been given the project for civil work, they should embrace this and make sure we have a safe environment at Ramasha ESP. So thank you always. Keep on watching and keep subscribe to get more updates from our side. It's from Sangani Paul, your always online podcaster.